Okay, welcome guys to I think it's episode 3 or for no, it's episode 4, isn't it?
Episode 4. Yep.
Episode 4 of our Footy Talk. Our Slotcast presents Footy Talk. I'm your host Joseph, and we've got my co-host here, Dom, and we don't have Fish again today because he's at. Well, okay, this one's my fault because apologies. It's actually coming out a day late, or 2 days late technically. No, a day late. Yeah, a day
Yeah.
late because I couldn't record this Tuesday night like we usually do. I had something on, which I couldn't get to a computer, and then also now Fish can't do tonight because he's at church or something. I don't know. He's at some sort of church. He's doing probably like some ScoMo stuff at churches, singing praise the Lord and basically what Israel Folau does.
Oh, better than George Pell stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely better than the George Pell stuff. Alrighty, well, big week of footy, eh, Dom?
Yeah, there was a few good games. Couple unlikely games that were sort of good contests. Few upsets and probably separated a few contenders from pretenders from the contenders this round actually. So yeah, there was a bit to take out of this round. Pretty good.
Mate, I couldn't have said it better myself. All right, let's get into it. So the first thing I've got is what the fuck is happening to the Canberra Raiders, mate? I don't know what is happening in terms of George Williams is now gone. So immediate release. Now he's arguing with good old Hooper over the over Twitter. But in doing so, in arguing, he actually basically proved everything that Hooper said was factually correct. So I think it's the first time that's ever happened.
Yeah, rare for hoops.
Yeah, very rare for hoops, the cue ball. Um, yeah, it just seems that there's when there's smoke, there's fire, and I think this is definitely a part of the fire. Um, yeah, I'd like, and I think and they're not doing well at the moment, so I think that exacerbates just everything in regards to it. In terms of all the Josh Hodgson stuff and him stepping down, a lot of senior players not playing well and getting dropped and things like that. Yeah. So what's your take on it? Take on it, Dom?
No, they look like they're in absolute turmoil at the moment, and quite surprising. I remember at the start of the year, before a ball was kicked, looking over their squad, and I thought they had a lot of depth. So if injuries came their way, or well, more likely suspension in this day and age, I thought they'd be able to cover well, and they were probably my dark horse to win the comp. But the wheels have completely fallen off the Raiders. I think you can put the red pen through them and say they're not going to feature in the back end of the season. I mean, they can still make the top 8. They do have a lot of talented people on their roster, but they're certainly doing it the hard way. And it's interesting. It looks like a lot of there's no team cohesion on the field, and you do speculate with all the voices and stories coming out of the Raiders at the moment. It's obviously affecting their on-field performance, and it just looks like a team of individuals playing for themselves. And yeah, it's a shame because on their day, I think over the past 2 years, they've proven what a powerful, skillful, and talented football team they can be. But yeah, 2021 so far, year to forget. Still a long way to go, but I think you can safely say they're not going to be putting their hand up for the trophy at the end of the year.
Oh, I don't even think they're going to make the finals if they continue playing like they are. They got towed up by a Melbourne team. Like they led 10-0 and they got towed up by a team with Cooper Johns who's played like 3 games in 2 years.
Yeah,
Nick,
still
yeah.
raw in first grade.
So I think it's not good, and I think just with all the drama, it's just So I genuinely can't understand what's happening. Is it maybe a bit of Ricky fatigue? I've heard that thrown around. I was actually talking to my dad about it. I said, about in sort of 2006 when Ricky left the Roosters. I said, is this kind of what started happening, or was it more just sort of on field? And he said, look, it was a bit of both in terms of on field and off field sort of things happening
No,
before.
he's a full on character. You do speculate if
Well,
that's got into the
yeah,
playing group.
Well, I think as well because once you start losing a couple in a row, those things that you put up with when you're winning, you wouldn't put up with
Yeah.
when you're losing.
No, the effects of negative things just multiply when it's not going your way on the football field.
Yeah, so I think that can all sort of be attributed to it. But yeah, it's a bit of a mess, honestly. Like, and the whole Williams thing now, it's like dragging out because he's, keeps saying shit over Twitter and like, look, all for mental health and stuff. But if you're surprised that a club's going to let you go after you've said that you're not going to play a footy game, like you're going to miss training, you're going to miss a footy game, and you've already been asking for a release, that's pretty, I wouldn't say poor, but I don't know.
It's a tough topic because he's talking about mental health, but
Yeah,
just
he's
from a
obviously
Raiders,
hurting. He's obviously hurting, but I
yeah,
can understand from the club's perspective.
from a Raiders point of view, combinations are important in football, especially around your spine. And if you've got a bloke you can't count on week to week, all barring injuries and suspension to prevent him from playing, then yeah, it's probably just best to sever ties. And I can't blame the Raiders for how they've probably harshly looked to release Williams immediately. But I mean, they got a capable backup in Sam Williams who can come in and
Well, he's
do
been
a job.
he's
And
been around the traps for a while. Far out.
yeah, well, and I mean, maybe you now look at it and go, it's completely Jack White inside, and maybe he can just rubber stamp his authority on, um, well, at least their attacking side of the game and game management, and it might bring the best out of him. So could
Yeah.
still be life in the Raiders, but yeah,
Or even give it more to sort of. Well, I was going to say maybe give it more to Josh Hodgson in terms of organising everything like that and have Whiten really run off the back of that. But then again, like he hasn't been playing his best footy either, so it's kind of hard with the
I,
both.
I, I like Tom Starling at 9 for the Raiders. Anyway, to be honest, I think Whiten just it's been well reported. I think he overplays his hand from dummy half and takes a lot of time away from his 6 and 7. So, mate, there's been talk about Hodgson possibly playing 7. I mean, I've never seen him have a game of 7, and wouldn't doubt him being able to do it. But
Yeah.
yeah, I do like Tom Starling at 9.
Yeah, no, I get ya. Well, look, I think that pretty much. And we'll talk a bit more about the Raiders when we get to their game in the preview. I just wanted to talk about Victor Radley. All right. So I'm not going to dwell too long on this because I know probably everyone's overhearing about the fucking suspensions and that.
Mate, not our viewers in Ohio. They're right into it. They love it.
Oh yeah, the viewers in
Give the
Ohio.
people what they want.
But so he got 5 weeks, which I think. Look, that's a bit much. Fuck, like I probably would have said 2 or 3, considering fucking Dylan Brown got 3 weeks for puncturing and destroying Drew Hutchinson's lungs, which he's back in hospital. Hope he gets better. He's got a fucking hole in his lung. I think it's a bit much, but I wanted to more focus on a quote he gave, which I think is possibly my favourite thing, which is, so this is the quote, after he came out of the judiciary, he looked gutted, but and so this is what he said, so I've been taught from a young age, from very good coaches, Adrian Lamb, Craig Fitzgibbon, a great tackling style, and just because they decide to change the rules midway through the season doesn't mean I have to change my tackling style. Tackling low or stuff that people have been saying is the answer just isn't the answer. I can't be premeditating. So, yeah, is that the word? Yeah. Tackling low and getting myself knocked out and copying elbows and hips. I'm really confident with my technique and I'm going to stick solid to it. There was also in the quote that obviously he needs to change his aim in terms of lowering it a couple inches. But, fuck, I couldn't agree with something more than that. Seriously.
Yeah. I think reading between the lines in that quote as well, when Radley sort of highlights the mid-season rule, while sort of interpretation of the rule just shows you the frustration that must be occurring in the players within the NRL. I mean, they to change the goalpost essentially midway through the season, for me personally, it sort of undermines the credibility of the prior 9 rounds of the competition. And I think it's detrimental to the product seeing players like Radley. You've got Josh Papali'i on the sidelines as well. Angus Crichton missing games. It's detrimental to the product, and also it hurts. It hurts the fans. Like they're there, they pay their hard-earned money to watch the best players in the game. Now, not saying they shouldn't be suspended or feel the full effects of the judiciary, but
Yeah.
a bit of common sense. I think this crackdown, although it means well, they've gone about it the wrong way, and they're very reactionary at the NRL. Has been for a while, and it
Been
just
for the last 20 years.
it just feels like they've sort of missed the mark again, and they're just polarizing the fans that turn up each week, and
Yeah.
I don't think it's very healthy for the game.
Well, I think, like, you're not going to rub out accidents. I think a penalty suffices for if you make any contact with the head, obviously. And, like, with the send-offs last, so when that magic round and the send-offs, I actually agreed with all of those send-offs. It was the majority of the sin bins that I didn't agree with. I think...
No, the sin bin's too trigger happy. It completely changes the game. You see in the Cowboys Knights, the Cowboys are up 16-0. They get 2 sin bins in the space of 5 minutes, Taumalolo and Burr.
Oh, yeah, and then it's 20 to 16, yeah.
Or whatever it was. So it's just ridiculous. It's just killing the game. And obviously some sin bins are warranted and some send-offs. And like you said, it's hard to disagree with any that have probably come in the game so far. But yeah, the use of the sin bins just sort of crippling some of the contests in the game.
Yeah, I think it was just... I don't know, I feel bad for the refs because obviously they're not the ones that have done this. I think they've been also thrown in the deep end with it. But fuck, a bit of common sense, and from the bunker as well. The bunker's just... And the thing with the penalties, when you go back, fucking... How many... Like, you go back 5 or 6 plays, it's like, no, at that point, it's done with the match review committee. In terms of they can see it, they pick it up. Like, the ref, they need it, because you can't interrupt the flow of a game like that, because it's too changing of momentum and everything like that. And especially when it's an accident like that.
Yeah.
Like, especially, like the one on the weekend, I was at the game with the Roosters Broncos. We'll fucking talk about that later. But when Radley smashes Pangai, so he hits him on the chest, basically, but then as he's going down, his shoulder slips up and knocks him in the jaw.
Essentially, no contact. All the front
forceful contact.
On the shoulder.
Yeah, so, look, I would have been not happy with the penalty, but I would have been, then... And then they go back, they let it play on, they go back after 4 plays, and like, all right, you're 10 in the bin now. I was like, what the fuck? Like, but yeah, all right, I'm getting off the point. I said I wasn't going to talk about it that long. I was just getting angry. I'm just going to get angry about it because it's just so poorly put through and thought out.
Yeah. No, just one final point I'd like to highlight. I just think it's completely hypocritical of the ARLC, like the chairman Volandis and his commission, the fact that they saw a weakness in the game and brought in the 6 again rule to try and speed up the play. They made changes again at the start of the season in terms of the game's speed, like with offside now being a 6 again, if you're in 10 metres, the elimination of some scrums. So their whole idea is to speed up the game and bring in this fatigue. But at the same time, it's been detrimental to players being forced into split-second decisions under fatigue. But then also when you're bringing in the bunker to rule on these plays, you're having 2-3 minute stoppages in the game, which just nullifies the effect of the product that they're trying to build with the implementation of the rules from last season. So I just find it very hypocritical, and I just struggle to see what product they want in the game with so many conflicting
messages.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing's clear.
Yeah, I think... Yeah, it's just... I don't know. Look, I think they'll figure it out. There'll be growing pains, but I just don't want it to be like rugby union. Like, that's... that's the opposite, I think, of what everyone wants. Like, it's good intentions, obviously, like you said, but fuck hell. Just, recognise what's an accident. And obviously, even if it is an accident, but he's taken his head off, like, okay, yes, that's, maybe 10 in the bin. But when it's things like, you're on the ground and a shoulder goes into the head, or, like, fuck, okay, the worst one Just one more point before we finish. Sorry on that one was when Radley puts a shot on Xavier Coates and he goes down, and I think his hand touches his head or something, and they're like, "Nah, on penalty on report."
Seriously,
That was the
spare
biggest
me.
load of shit I've ever seen.
They
Oh,
should have penalised him for being about 8 meters offside, and I would have copped that. But the
yeah,
penalty
he was offside. Well,
oh,
that's what we thought the penalty was for at the game. So I thought that was the penalty off, like, and then they put it on report. I'm like, what the fuck? So then
they tackled him too hard, mate.
yeah, it was, yeah. But all right,
That's what it feels like.
fucking hell, I know. All right, moving on now. We've got Origin right around the corner, mate. And
Yeah, I am actually not that excited because I'm scared of what it's going to look like. Still want to win,
yeah,
obviously, and still care heavily, but I just think, yeah, like we've been talking about, the products may be reduced.
I can definitely see that. I think the product also got reduced when fighting got taken out of that arena. I think State of Origin, that's what it is. Like, it's that such fierce competition that a stink is not needed in it, but the fact that you never know when it's gonna, like, when you remember when we used to watch it when we were sort of like, like early teens and sort of mid-teens, like, you'd watch it and they'd be like, oh, waiting for the fight, who's going to punch, when's Gallon going to punch Nate Miles in the head again, sort of thing, like. But I hopefully just the quality of the footy's good, because look, I don't think it's ever going to be like it used to be in that sort of fierce competition and that fierce competitiveness, that literal like hatred. I don't think that's ever going to be like that again, but I just like watching a good quality game of rugby league, and I think we're actually going to miss out on a little bit because two Roosters in that second row aren't going to be there because the match review committee are fucking stupid. Anyway, but yeah, I was going to say, like, what do you reckon the selection's going to look like with it? What do you reckon that's going to look like?
Oh, I guess the biggest talking points. I don't give a fuck about Queensland. They could pick 13 blokes off the street, and I still wouldn't care. With New South Wales, I guess the number 6 is probably the big one. It's between, I'd say, Luai and Jack Whiten.
You'd go Luai every day of the week, though.
Oh, yeah, look, the combinations there with
Just
Cleary.
for the combination and the fact that...
It's hard to argue, but I don't know, just historically, New South Wales have done well with big-bodied number 6s. You look Brad Fittler,
Fittler.
Nathan Astor, Trent Barrett, whenever they pulled on the jersey, we always seem to do well, and they had a dominant half outside them. Andrew Johns in all those, but and like the same with Nathan Cleary at the moment. But yeah, combination under pressure, hard to go past. But having said that, you get value out of Jack Whiten being a 14 as opposed to Luai, so I guess you don't lose anything there if Luai does play.
Yeah, I think between those two, like, people saying Cody Walker, I don't think with the form Souths are in, that Cody Walker is anywhere near that conversation at the moment.
I don't think he's done enough in prior Origins either.
And yeah, I was about to say, I don't think he's really done enough to sort of warrant the trust from like Fittler sort of thing. And then, like, I think there's the issue with the lock as well. Now I think basically that's fallen to Isaiah Yo's or hands with Cameron Murray and Radley out. Well, I don't know if Murray will be out, obviously.
Murray's back this week.
Oh, that's right, he is, yes.
So he has a chance.
Yeah. So, but I probably think that's. I think Isaiah would at least be in the discussion, or at least there. Do you think Latrell's going to be back? Is my question.
I think it's gonna. Who they got this week? Bunnies.
They got Para, I think.
Okay. Well, it's the stage is set for Latrell to have a big game, and I think he's going to need a big game because he was out for 4 weeks through suspension. He was in a team. Obviously, it's not his fault they got 56 put on him, but when
you're playing out the back, it's kind of hard when the defense really isn't your fault at that point.
He's still got to structure it on their line, but no, obviously it's not his fault they conceded 56, but he was part of that team.
Yeah.
So I don't know which way Freddie's going to go. To be honest, you don't even know which way Freddie's going to go at the best of times. But
don't know if he's going to pick two fullbacks at a fullback and a 6 at centre.
Yeah, who knows?
You never know.
Seriously, yeah, the grass specialist as a coach.
Yeah, well, grass and the field. Um, yeah, I think Turbo would definitely is going to be in. I think To'o, Addo Carr, Cleary, Luai. I think they're all pretty firm in. I reckon Tupou might be in for a bit of a smoky.
I've heard talk of Blake Ferguson,
He
and
hasn't been playing that well.
I want to stick a fork in my eyes. If I saw him playing, fuck me dead, mate. That ship has sailed. Look at Brian. Look at what Brian To'o's doing. Like,
Yeah, you'd think.
surely we look at that.
Look, you'd think so. I think the only weakness you have with him is the height within the ball in the air. You know, if he's on Xavier Coates' wing, or basically the other, who's on the other wing for Queensland? Fuck, who is it?
Oh, it'll be Val Holmes.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'd assume be. You know, I think they're both tall. I would probably get the jump on him, unless you have Tommy Turbo next to him, and then he drops back on fifth, sort of thing. But I know you never know. But look, I think it's going to be really interesting. Queensland team, I've got no fucking clue. I haven't really been following the Queensland selection. Who's available for that?
I think you can still be out. So I guess that's just a big thing to highlight.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's they're fucking Queensland without Munster. I don't know, but would you put him in even if he hadn't played a game of footy before? Like that was his
Munster?
first game. Yeah,
Yeah, I would for sure. I think he's the difference for Queensland.
do you reckon he's earned that?
Oh,
Sort
absolutely.
of like that Joey Johns, Wally Lewis kind of aura of just pop him in the team. He's going to do well.
Ownership of that 6 jersey for Queensland for sure. Yeah, no doubt.
What do you reckon? Old mate Ben Hunt's getting back in there. Well, he played. Did he play last year?
Did he play last year? I think he was. Oh, I can't quite remember. I think in game 1 he might have, because I remember they were quite decimated by injury. But I can't quite recall. He would have been in the squad.
Yeah, I'd assume so. Yeah.
But with the talk of, well, I mean, they're not sure on Harry Grant. I think they expect him to be able to play, so they'll probably pick him again just because his form has been good this season, and if he passes a fitness test, I'm sure they'll have no hesitation.
Yeah.
Him. I guess they're looking at Reid Marnie.
I think Reid deserves a shot. I think.
The talk what they're saying, well, from what's reported, is they'd look for Reid Marnie to start the game and bring on Harry Grant as an interchange to sort of replace him. Sort of how they did it in last year's series with Jake Friend, I guess. It worked for them. So I don't think Reid Marnie would look too out of place in a Maroons jersey.
I don't. He's short, stocky. He looks built for it, to be honest. And he's just fucking tough. He's just a tough cunt. I think. Is there anything else I had lined up? No, I think let's get into the preview, shall we?
Yeah, no, let's go.
All right. Now here was a game. Thursday, 20th of May. Cowboys over the Knights, 36-20. It was a bit of a weird game, eh? Like the momentum swung because of those two sin bins, and they Knights kind of got back on the board, and then it just, like, I think it ended up being 20-16, and then Cowboys just came home strong. They just look so much better than what they used to. It's like they've improved out of sight, I have to say. Though they were going up against the Knights, which, look, that's not a tough opposition. It's not a, but you can only play what's in front of you.
That's right.
And they did well. 7 tries to 4. It was a good game to watch. It seemed like a closer contest than we've kind of seen. I know it's still 13 plus, but I think 13 plus now doesn't really mean anything. That's 2 tries and that's nothing nowadays.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was a contest in periods of the game, especially when Cowboys had 2 men off the field, which made it more interesting, I guess you could say, even though they probably didn't earn the right, Newcastle, to enter back in the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you're starting to see a Cowboys side with Todd Payton's coaching influence in it, sort of starting to play the way he would like them to play. Obviously, still missing a few key ingredients, so we'll get Townsend next year. Don't know if that's good for them, to be honest.
Oh yeah, I
But
think that's a step back.
yeah, exactly. But as for the Knights, like they are in strife. They're
Yeah,
they're a weak
they lose
team.
two they lose two
Mentally,
players and they're gone.
yeah, their consistency is um, honestly it's
It's
disgraceful. And
dreadful. It's dreadful. Eh?
I think Adam O'Brien would be just trying to search for answers. I think they're even starting to conduct a internal mid-season review, which just sort of highlights their struggles. They're in all sorts. Um, there's probably just not enough accountability from individual performances up there. I think Tyson Frizzell's been their best player this season, fresh to the club,
Oh,
giving it
100%.
everything he's got.
Yeah, I think so as well.
And there's just not enough blokes going with him. Like, yeah, there's a lot of, I think, mentally soft players in that team where if they're standing under the goalpost a couple of times in the game, I think they lack belief to think they can get back in the game and at least force a contest again.
Oh, like looking at their 1 to 7, it's Kurt Mann, Stafford Toa, Inari Tuwala,
Mate,
Sasagi, Braden Musgrove, Phoenix Crossland, and Blake Green. I think that just says it all there. Like, look at that. That
Blake
backline
Green's
is.
retired.
He did retire, but
Oh,
like,
Tuala, mate, fuck me, dead. He cannot defend to save his life.
he's almost as bad as
You,
Longer Blake.
you'd be better off sticking a fucking traffic cone out there instead of Tuala. He is shocking.
Yeah, it's yeah, I don't know. I think that Adam O'Brien's going to be searching for answers. They definitely need troops back. They need
Edric Lee, I think.
what was that? Sorry.
I'm missing, I think, Edric Lee and Heimel Hunt, but bloody hell, that's not going
And
to solve their way.
what's his name? Bradman Best as well.
Yeah. Sorry, actually, he's a gun player. But
So
yeah,
they're basically missing almost their entire back line, and you got Pierce out, Ponga. So yeah, it's just a bit, you know. But anyway, moving on from that game, I don't really think there's anything else. What else can you say? I think Cowboys improving week by week, and Knights just staying shit. To be honest, with no players, they've
just keep starting to drown.
yeah, unfortunately. Now the next game on the Friday was actually a game I really enjoyed watching at the pub. So it was Warriors and West Tigers, and Warriors 30 to Tigers 26. Look, I think the scoreline flatters the Tigers, to be honest. It was basically Warriors just not dominant. They just, I would say dominant. They were a bit more, like, they were dominant throughout the game, obviously. Then 4 tries. Tigers, I don't even, like, even when it was 30 to 26, it didn't even look like Tigers might score at the end. Oh, well, we kind of fucked that last bit up, but look, he's won them how many games previously, so I think it was actually an enjoyable game, and that's not something you can say for many NRL games anymore, unfortunately. But yeah, I think what Tigers, like, they're almost there. They're almost at a club that can do something and maybe get in the 8. They're like, and Warriors, I think, just considering the circumstances, to get any win, I think in their circumstances is just massive from them. So you can't really be hard on them. They're trying their heart out. Reece Walsh is just fucking hot. Like, look at his eyes. Like,
he's a pretty looking boy.
He's pretty. He's very pretty. Like, he's prettier than most girls. I have no issue saying that. And Tuivasa-Sheck, just being Tuivasa-Sheck.
Handy winger.
Yeah, handy winger. Tohu Harris is just a fucking gun. He just does. He does the work.
Probably their captain next season with Tuivasa-Sheck gone, I'd say as well.
Oh yeah, I'd have to say. But yeah, I think all in all, good game. I think both teams showing improvement. I think Tigers just need to tighten up their defense, get a bit more on. Well, they just need to improve. I think on all sort of rounds. What do you reckon, Dom? What's your opinion on the game? Did you watch it?
Yeah, I did. It was like I said, a really entertaining game actually. Reece Walsh is just going from strength to strength each week. especially when you got a bloke like Tuivasa-Sheck accommodating him by having to play on the wing to get him in the side at fullback, just shows how special a player he is and a superstar he can be for the future.
How selfless good old Shecky is,
Yeah,
mate. He's just
no,
he's
no,
just a
no,
gun.
no ego for him. He's just a champion, and he will be missed. As for the West Tigers, again, post but no cigar. But I mean, when you do analyse it a bit closer, they conceded 6 tries and only scored 4. So, like you said, it was the Warriors game. You always felt.
And
But I
the
mean,
last Tigers try was in the 78th minute. Like it was,
yeah,
you know,
it was almost a consolation, wasn't it?
yeah.
But I guess slow progress for the Tigers. You could possibly say, but having said that, it's professional business and it's a results-driven industry at the end of the day. So another loss doesn't help them. But yeah, it'll just be curious to see what they dish up against the Dragons this coming week. To be honest, because consistency hasn't been something that is notable with the Tigers of late.
Well, I don't think they've won 2 games in a row in a couple of years. So yeah, see how it goes. I do have to say Dane Laurie, and so the fullbacks that game were just so Reece Walsh and Dane Laurie it's so good. Sheck as well. I already said, and you already said Tull Harris, but yeah, I think the Tigers forwards actually I think did a better job than the Warriors forwards in that game. I just think the Tigers lacked a bit of polish and probably from having Dewey in the centres, but you know, I think you just he needs to get his hand on the ball. I know it's hard being in the centres, but yeah, I don't know how Madge is going to sort of work that out. But look, Madge is a great coach. I think he can work it out. Anyway, on to the next game on that Friday night. Now, so it was Sharks 13 to Dragons 12. Look, as a someone who was supporting the Dragons that game, just because fuck the Sharks, I thought that was a really gutsy effort from you boys, considering you had a reserve grade team.
Yeah, no,
Basically. And you could have won that game. I think that shows how
we should
shit the
have won
Sharks
that
are.
game. Yeah, no, I think as a contest, I mean, the only saving grace was there was 1 point in the game in the end. Otherwise, it was a
It was a
pretty,
shocker. Like I
pretty.
enjoyed it. But it was a shocker.
Yeah. Look for the Dragons, it's tough and it's good to see they're showing some character, having troops out, and then I think losing 3 or 4 players and actually getting the 18th man, Daniel Alvaro, onto the field. But yeah, again, no win, which is the most disappointing aspect, especially when we get down the other end and Corey Norman doesn't take a shot at goal. Didn't even look to be in a position to take a shot at goal.
Yeah, I don't know what that last play was a bit. That was stupid. I don't know what happened there. But to be fair as well, Ben Hunt probably should have put his hand up for that one. Like
I
he
mean,
was there.
Corey Norman's our man. He's done it before in the field goals, so I think the onus
Hunt
was
was
on
probably
him.
just waiting for him.
Yeah, I think you got to get yourself into a better position, and it's everyone who knows me. Obviously, I'm not a Corey Norman fan. I don't like him one bit. And I just
As a
think
player, or just not as a person.
he gets out and donates clothes to homeless people, which is fantastic. But as a player, he just doesn't do the 1% as well. And I think it was highlighted by the fact he wasn't in a good position to take a shot at goal in the Sharks' 20-metre zone. And he just didn't set himself up to have a shot at goal. And it's disappointing when you're in that position. And then I know
As a half that's getting paid like 800 grand a year sort of thing.
that's right. You got to. They say you own the result as a halfback. I know he's playing 5'8", but in that game he was our match winner if we were going to win. But again, I mean, another disappointing fact is we don't have a shot at goal, but we do turn over the ball in good field position. Let's just get off our line fast, not give away any 6 agains, no penalties or anything like that.
Yeah.
But the worst player on the field, fucking Hiroti, runs 70 metres down the other end, and the stupid prick, Chad Townsend, gets a shot at goal and celebrates like he's Jesus Christ after the bloke dropped the ball 4 times in a game. Seriously. It was one of those games, and it was really disappointing. But if you're a Sharks fan, don't read into that result. Your team's still fucking shit.
Um, yeah, look, I agree with base everything you said there. What were your opinions on So Jack Bird, he did drop that ball. What were your opinions on him in the sheds? Sort of getting a bit teary about it. Look, for me, as a perspective from me, I love that. You know, that's showing that he actually cares about the club and he cares about the result. Which I even think Corey Norman sort of owned that result as well with that post he put up. So, like, does it at least feel like in consolation that at least the boys care? Like, it's not, it's not like you were watching the Broncos last year where, like, they weren't even sort of putting that effort in and getting pumped.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, I don't want players to be crying in the sheds or anything because you'd love to see them winning. But it's awesome to see Jack Bird clearly loves and cares about the club and
Well,
his
he's a
own.
junior, isn't he?
Yeah, he was his own personal performance, and the team performance, and for everyone that attacks players for showing some emotion. Well, people that attack Jack Bird on social media after the game, it's extremely gutless, and they're a
Oh,
bunch of cowards.
absolutely. Yeah, just
It's,
disgusting.
there's enough talk in the game about players don't care enough about the results, going out there high fiving, laughing with the opposition team that's just racked up a score on them or absolutely smashed them. And it's good to see Jack Bird clearly care about the club and his own performance. So I thought it was refreshing. I just wish we were on the other side of the result, but no, it is refreshing to see the player care so much. So it was cool from Jack Bird.
Yeah, I really sort of enjoy just the not enjoy it. Obviously, not. I don't want to enjoy them crying, but enjoy the like just the show. They care sort of thing, you know.
Yeah,
Because as a fan, you care so much,
yeah,
and like sometimes like I understand when sometimes people are like when they see your team is there smiling and hugging with with opposition team after they've just lost the game or something. Sometimes, especially if it's like a tough loss or something, it can sort of shit you a little bit. So I think that when it's a tough loss like that, I think it sort of gives a little bit of consolation to the fans that the players do care, which they always do. I don't think there's ever a time where players don't care. I just don't think they show it like on TV. Like not everyone's like Andrew Johns or like all of those players where they wear the heart on the sleeve sort of thing.
yeah.
Like your
Right.
James Graham sort of thing.
Dealing with it.
Yeah, but yeah. Look, I think that's good signs. At least you guys are getting there in terms of even your reserve grade squad. Puts in a pretty good performance. Well, not a pretty good, but at least a tough performance. And for
Oh,
Sharks,
performance regardless. They were in the contest. Put it that way.
yeah, at least you have that. And the Sharks just fucking hell. They just got to take any win they can get. To be honest, fuck.
They're scrapping.
That
They
was
are scrapping.
I don't know how the team isn't that bad. Like looking at their actual player list, so I don't know. I think just all that distraction. Chad
Contract.
Townsend. Yeah, like half the players that aren't even contracted for next
Oh,
year.
it looks like Chad Townsend just wants to take the next flight up to Townsville.
Which
He,
fair enough. Fuck.
he's fucked.
He's been fucked ever since he started.
Yeah,
He's
oh,
God. And I just want to like put a side note there. Whenever we're taking the piss out of players, we're joking. We don't actually like hate them or anything. We're just having a laugh with them.
no, it's just based on footy performance.
Yeah, purely based not on
Nothing
bloke
personal.
or yeah. All right, we'll move on to the next game. Titans v Bulldogs. Titans 30, Bulldogs 20. First game on the Saturday. You know what? Again, a game I didn't mind watching. It was
Yeah, it was pretty
actually
entertaining.
like I didn't want to shoot myself watching it, which is basically every other game after this now. But I'll run down a couple of points. I didn't get to watch all of it because I had to go. I went off to the footy to go watch the Roosters game back in the city. What I saw just classic Titans, great attack, defense. Like you shouldn't be letting the Bulldogs put 20 on you in any sort of thing.
Seriously.
But I think just Titans they just need to I don't know what they just with their defense they need to sort of shore it up because I think if they've got the attack of a fucking top 6 team at least, So yeah, I don't know. Bulldogs, fuck. I don't. I genuinely don't know. Like every time I look, I just don't know.
I thought they were closer this week. I thought they gave themselves opportunities to. I'm not going to say win the game because I don't know if they were ever going to get directly in front after scoring their next try. But they were always in the contest and they were always hanging around, but just lacked polish, a lot of polish.
Yeah, I think, and I saw some people saying, "Oh, if Flano was there, they
Yeah.
might have been." But fuck, I don't think that's. I don't think they'd get to 20 to 30. Like, I don't think they get to 20 points with Flano there. Just, I think Avarillo's, a sort of future there with Burton, which I think they can form a really good sort of young halves. I think you just need a few more hard heads in the forwards. I think hopefully they can sort of be on the up because fuck, I'm kind of sick of I love watching the Bulldogs lose, but I'm getting over it now. Come on, boys,
Yeah.
get in there.
What feels like the last 5 years, to be honest.
Yeah, I know. I don't even think it's been that long.
No, it isn't.
But yeah, what are your thoughts on the game, Dom?
Yeah, I liked it again. I thought it was an entertaining game of football. I thought a few of the Titans' tries just came from lapses in concentration from the Dogs. There was one in particular where I forget who returned the ball. I think it might have been AJ Brimson. Caught sort of a sort of pointless midfield bomb. I don't really like that play, but just caught it. And Bulldogs players, there was no one standing in front of him when he landed on the ground, and he just bolted straight through the Bulldogs' defence and was able to find support. And I think they got tackled and score off the next play. So just little lapses in concentration and defensive efforts sort of crippled them that game. But I think they were getting closer, and it's cold comfort for a Dogs fan. They've only seen one win so far this season, and not many over the last couple of years. But I think there was improvement there. But one thing I do want to take out from that game, Jared Wallace essentially diving for that Dylan Napa sin bin, I thought was pretty disgraceful. You're 115 kilo front row forward, and you're about a second delay out from when the initial contact clipped your chin. It wasn't forceful whatsoever, and he's just gone down making an absolute meal of it and got Dylan Napa sin bin. I think that's something the game needs to address if they're going to continue with this interpretation of the rule.
Yeah, I think that was always going to happen. I think with the rules, I think whenever they always like to mention the crackdown, it was like, did you even hear of a crusher tackle before they did the crackdown on it, and then there was suddenly 4 crushes every game?
Yeah, no, the crusher tackle. It's only something that's probably come in the game the last 3 or 4 years. Before that, I had no idea. First time I heard of what the hell was a crusher tackle.
I think the first time I ever maybe took notice of was that was the Latrell Mitchell one in 2018 when he got a couple of weeks for it. That one he should have, because that just looked on purpose. But most of them now are just So I think nothing. So I think it's now just people sort of bunging it on a bit.
Yeah, a lot of them have to do with the ball carrier backing into the defence, and really some of the defenders don't really have anywhere else to go.
Yeah, you have to sort of take it, because what are you going to do? Not tackle him?
Yeah, there's a lot of factors involved in the crush tackle, and you can really tell the bad ones from the not so bad ones.
Yeah, it's easy to tell.
Yeah, I think there needs to be a bit of common sense around the crusher as well. Not everyone's trying to crush or tackle people.
Yeah, so I think it's odd. Oh well, we'll see how it goes. I think these head high stuff. Look, we've already talked about it. I'm not going to bang on. I feel like we just all the games kind of look at it, because you just look and you see sin bin for Dylan Napa in the 46th minute, and Bo Fermor, or however you say it, Fermor, on the 57th. So yeah, but look, takeaways from that game: Titans need to improve defensively. Bulldogs, they're just the Bulldogs. What are you going to say there?
Another loss.
Yeah, another loss. Now we got a game that I was in attendance for. Roosters v Broncos, and it was Broncos 34 to Roosters 16. Now, before I get really into anything, I just want to make it clear we should have lost that game. I don't think the sin bins would have changed the result. I think it maybe would have made it closer, but I still think, and I think we deserve to lose that game. I think Brisbane deserved to win that game. But fuck me, were some of the decisions, refereeing decisions, not just the sin bins and stuff, but were just fucking terrible. Like, one I can point out was the two forward passes leading to tries. There was a couple other ones. Like, that's, that's not normal. I still just don't understand how the bunker, they fucking rule on everything else, but they can't rule on a forward pass because, they don't have the technology. Fucking, how long has the EPL had the offside technology for the past, 10 years?
No. I think it came in with VAR, which probably came in 2 seasons ago. So it hasn't been around that long. But I think they're actually looking to trial new forward pass technology. I'm not sure. I think it's one of the NASA scientist things. I don't know. I don't know too much about it.
But it's just like, just draw a line across the fucking ground and be. But yeah, and when it's obvious like that, come on. But look, I still think they should have won the game. Not taking anything away from Brisbane. They just fucking beat us up massively. Angus Crichton's penalty, that what he got, that penalty on report for was the fucking nothing. And now he's missing 2 weeks, though he did have prize. So that's what it's from. But other than that, I think just massive well done to Brisbane. If you won a game, you got something. I think it was like the second most watched game on Fox Sports history. Like 550,000 people watched it. But yeah, I think Did you watch it, Dom?
Yeah, I did.
Did you watch it?
It was sort of the game where it felt like Brisbane really turned up mentally for that one. I don't know.
100%.
I must have got a rocket from Kevy, but it just felt like the Roosters just never really got going. They never really matched the Broncos.
Got in that groove, got in that sort of...
Yeah, in the effort areas. I think the Broncos... Yeah, they never really matched them, and poor Sam Walker was just getting absolutely smashed by Pangai all night.
Yeah, massively. Yeah. I felt bad for the kid. Fuck.
Yeah, and fair play to him. He got up every time and put his body on the line in every defensive set. So that's all you can ask, really, of him. But yeah, no, credit's due. The Broncos aimed up and played well and got a big upset that no doubt ruined my tipping round and a lot of
I think it ruined everyone's tipping round, to be honest.
Yeah.
I got a lot of angry messages from many people. Fish was one of them. He told me to do some terrible things to myself. But yeah, look, not good enough from the Roosters from our side. Just, I don't know what the fuck happened. I still don't know what happened. It just looked like we didn't turn up. And it seems like, again, reiterating, we should have lost that game anyway, but it seemed like every time we started to get some sort of roll on, there was either like a penalty that swung momentum or something or other bullshit.
It just never felt like the Roosters' day.
Yeah, like every sort of 50-50 call felt like it was going the Broncos' way. But they're the ones with the momentum, and that's that's what happens when you have the momentum. That's the calls go to you. I think that's usually like the sort of logic everyone uses, which fair enough with that. But yeah, it just felt like we could never get in the contest, and as well, we never sort of put ourselves in the contest. I think that try, that intercept by David Mead, I think just before halftime, that was a massive killer. I think we would have gone into halftime up. I think that would have definitely made it a closer contest. And if they didn't score off 2 forward passes,
just before halftime and just after halftime, worst times to concede. So
100%.
Mentally, that would have hurt the Roosters a little bit. No doubt.
I do say big congratulations to Albert Kelly back in the NRL after going around and flogging the Super League for a bit. To come back and kick the ball out on the full first go. the abuse that that man copped when he did that from the stands
Oh, I pissed myself.
I was cracking it. Everyone was laughing, but then he turned around and flogged us. So yeah, that's fucking, we got it back. Yeah, well, look, I'm going to move on from this game because I'm getting angry just thinking about it. We got this next game. I didn't get to watch the sort of first 20 to 30 minutes of it before I sort of got to the pub to watch the rest. It was the last Saturday night game. Raiders Storm 34-10 over the Raiders at the Raiders' home ground. I don't know, I don't really... What are you going to say to that? Just because we've sort of already talked about it. Just Raiders got nothing. I think Storm with a down side, you know, they don't have their well, they basically didn't have their spine. They had 3/4 of their spine out. And as well, Harry Grant was out. So, you know, and they still put 34 points on it with, you know, that kind of just shows where where Raiders are at. And it just also shows how good Melbourne are with that sort of next man up mentality. So, yeah, what are your thoughts?
No, it's a credit to Melbourne. Obviously, it doesn't matter who's playing for them. They expect them to do their job and do their job well. The Raiders, it just sort of shows where they're at. They were able to skip out to a 10-point lead in the first half and then just conceded 34 unanswered points. So their inability to hang in games and ride out momentum, it's just crippling at the moment to go with some off-field dramas. So, yeah, this is sort of the game that confirmed it for me that they definitely won't be appearing in the back end of the season, or at least making a deep run into the finals, even if they do manage to somehow get it. So, yeah, red pen through the Raiders, no good.
Yeah, look, I think we'll move on from that game anyway. I think, well, there's nothing else we can talk about, can we? To be fair, really. The next game as well. I think the next game definitely, but we have the Sunday 2:00 game in Dubbo, Rabbitohs v Penrith, and it was 56-12 Penrith over the Rabbits. And
yeah, wow,
that was just dominance. Like it should have been 60. Like the Penrith almost scored towards the end as well. So, like that's crazy, eh? That's first v third, I think it was at the time.
It's just Penrith flexing their muscles. They got a embarrassment of riches at their disposal. They got youth on their side. They've got toughness. They've got skill. So much talent from 1 to 17, and I guess it just shows why they're premiership favourites and why some are talking about them to be one of the best NRL teams so far. At least they've got to win the comp to even be considered, but one of the best NRL teams so far. As for the Rabbitohs, I think
draw the line through them.
Oh, just about. I think they're on the ropes, getting the countdown from the referee.
From the ref, yeah, I think. And that, who were they missing, really?
In that game, it was Cameron Murray.
Is that all they're missing now?
Yeah, that was it.
Yes, I think that shows the gap in the competition at the moment between Penrith, Gap, Melbourne, and then massive gap between the rest, I think.
100%.
So, yeah, look, I just think, dominant Nathan Cleary. Matt Byrne, 3 tries in his hometown. How good's that?
Yeah, really like the boy. Good on him.
Mansour obviously getting fucking given it by the Penrith boys. I thought that was funny. Jerome Luai just giving it to him when he was on the ground. Yeah, look, I think... I think that's really... for me, I draw a line through the Rabbits. Like, that's a massive sort of... loss. Yeah. That's 2 50-point thrashings. Like a premiership winning team doesn't lose by 50 twice. Like, I could get over the first one. The second one, though, like, that's a lot. But, It's just how it goes.
In the space of what 3 weeks, those performances and those drubbings, it's going to take an all-time coaching miracle from
Oh,
Wayne
mate.
Bennett.
Well, and to be fair, if anyone can do it, I think it's Wayne Bennett.
100%.
But yeah, look, I think move on from that game. What else are we going to say, really? We got. See, this is probably my favourite game of the round.
Yeah, this was my game of the round. I thought this.
Yeah. Should we have a segment now so it's the game of the round? So that we pick a game of the round every round?
Yeah, why not? Who do you tip in this one, by the way?
I can't remember. I got to go back and listen to the podcast.
Because I tip Manly. I think they're the third best team in the comp at the moment.
I genuinely think that as well. So I'll go through it. Sorry. So it was Eels v Sea Eagles, Sunday afternoon. I think it was the 4:00 game. Eels 6, Sea Eagles 28. The score does make it seem a lot less closer than it was. Or I think for majority of that game, it was quite a close contest, even if it was, was it like 22-6 for most of it?
Yeah.
I'd say, but it did feel like it had that feel of a close contest, no matter the scoreboard sort of thing. Like, you get what I mean.
Pretty bruising game of football. There were a few good shots. Nathan Brown running off the back fence. Jake Trbojevic giving it back as hard. It was a pretty good game to watch. And yeah, you're right. The 28-6 scoreline sort of does lead you on to believe that it wasn't a good contest, but quite the opposite.
Yeah.
I think you just look at the game and they're two close sides, but Tom Trbojevic was just.
Oh, he's the difference there. He's like I remember. I think it was it was Dan and Kemp from the Bloke in a Bar podcast when they were having a laugh that.
Great rivals, Dan and Kemp,
Pardon?
on that podcast. One of our great rivals.
One of the great rivals. That like Tommy Turbo's basically he's a 40-point player. Like, and they were just taking the piss, and then he came back and they scored they had basically a 40-point turnaround, and they scored 40 points. So he literally is almost a 40-point player. Like he puts 40, he like brings in 40 points for that team. It's just. I don't know. What can you say? It's just ridiculous. It's amazing what that bloke does. It's just it's the Tommy Turbo show.
Yeah, his impact on that Manly team is just unparalleled with any other player in the competition. He's just a freak, and he's there's probably a 2-horse race now in the Dally M's between Turbo and Nathan Cleary, who takes it out. So
I think so.
I
think
that'd be hard to beat.
Yeah, I think that would be a fantastic battle to watch, to be honest. I think, any sort of thoughts on the sides? I thought Eels probably not their worst game, but didn't play anywhere near up to standard. And I think just Eagles fucking played brilliantly, to be honest.
Yeah, I think it sort of highlights the deficiencies in that Eels team between Manly, because like we were saying, Tom Trbojevic, the difference. I just don't know if that Eels team has enough X factor to sort of get them to that next stage of being in a grand final at least. I think they're going to have to get a lot out of Mitchell Moses to be able to really, really contend deep in the competition and contest for a grand final, because at the moment I'm just not seeing enough from them.
Yeah, you have a lot of sort of hard-working players there. We don't have, and I just think Wanga Blake is fucking so bad. His defense is
He's
shocking.
awful, isn't he?
He is shocking. But yeah, so I'll see what they're doing. I think as soon as what's the other center's name that they have? He's out because what's it?
Oh, are you talking Murata Niokore?
Yeah, I think it's the one who put the shot on Teddy.
Yeah, Niokore.
Yeah,
the back rower playing centre and playing well.
Yeah, I think once he's back, I think
Wonga Blake out.
Yeah, because it's pretty bad, that defense.
Jeez, he's shocking.
But yeah, well, I think that wraps up the review. Let's have a look at the preview. All right, so we'll just go through, give a sort of 1 to 12 little thoughts on the game, and obviously, and give you a tip and a margin, and just little thoughts. So we'll start off Broncos v Storm up at Suncorp. What do you reckon, Dom?
Yeah, Storm just too strong. Doesn't matter who's playing in that team, in that jersey.
Even without the boys, even without Munster and Grant.
Yeah, 100%. I think they've
Well,
shown
Happy
enough.
as well.
I think Nico Hines has shown enough that um, he's just a star fullback, just searching for more regular game time next year. I think too strong. Jesse Bromwich has never lost a game at Suncorp, and I don't think on Thursday night he will lose one. I think he'll continue that winning streak, and yeah, Melbourne 13 plus.
Yeah, look, I tend to agree with you, to be honest. I'll go the same. Next game, Friday night.
Good game, this one.
That it is. I think it's quite an even game. I think this game could go down to the wire, though. That's never going to fucking happen anymore. It only happens between the Sharks and the Dragons because it's a shit contest.
Yep.
But so Cowboys up at Townsville versus the Warriors. Oh, I'm going Cowboys 1-12.
Yeah, I think I'll go Cowboys 1-12 as well. I think they're starting to sort of hit their straps and home ground advantage. Yeah,
They don't have Tamalolo though.
Oh,
I forgot about that.
I think Noah Blake. I heard reports of him.
Let me look at the old team list. No, he's not in there. Bad information there, mate. Bad information.
Yeah. Oh, that bloody Clarkey give me that information.
Yes, I think that could be with close game. I think without Tamalolo, I don't know. Fuck, I'll go Cowboys 1-12 though.
I'll flip my prediction. Actually, go Warriors 1-12. I just think maybe Reece Walsh could prove to be the difference again, and having a bloke like Tuivasa-Sheck on the wing.
Yeah,
that's just.
Well, they both are. They both are very sexy men.
Yeah, and I think actually there were a few blokes coming out during the week. I think Kane Evans was one of them, complaining about the game time under Nathan Brown. So he's starting prop this week. So maybe there's a few blokes in that Warriors team with a bit to prove as well.
I think hopefully fucking Nathan Brown just gave him laid the challenge down. Say, look, you want time? Here's the starting position.
That's right.
Yeah, which I hope that's what they're doing. Next game, the 7:55 game. So this is going to be either a cracker or a shithouse game. And look, I'm thinking it's going to be shit. But
should be shocking.
Well, you got Gerard Bill playing, so yeah, there we go. Shocking. West Tigers v Dragons at Bank West, which I don't know why they're playing at Bank West. I think it's the stupidest thing. They should be playing.
Leichhardt or Campbelltown?
Pardon?
Why isn't it Leichhardt or Campbelltown? Like we're talking the Tigers.
Yeah, I don't understand. You play at Leichhardt or Campbelltown. That's the only two places you should play. I know they probably get paid by Bank West to play there, but come on, it's ridiculous. Fuck. Look, I'm going Tigers 1-12.
Thanks, mate.
I don't have faith just from your team. Looking at your team, I don't have faith in that. You got Gerard Bill, man. Come on, what do you expect me to do?
Hey, premiership winner.
You got Blake Laurie. Look at him go. He's fucking what a man.
Yeah, with no confidence at all, I'm going to tip the Dragons 1-12. On the back of pretty much the boys' disappointing loss last week, and the fact they played the Tigers a few weeks ago and were absolutely woeful. So I think they've got to be searching for a big performance. And I think Tarek Sims in particular, there's a bit of back row depth in the Blues that is sort of going to be missed with a few suspensions. So maybe he can put his hand up with a man of the match winning performance and try and lay down the challenge for Freddie to pick him. So
yeah,
that's my logic on a Dragons 1-12. Hope it happens.
Well, you never know, mate. Well, look, I think we know the next game. We know exactly what's going to happen the next game.
Should we just give the score prediction?
Yeah, So look, it's Panthers v Bulldogs. Like, it's going to be
40 plus.
Yeah, it's Penrith 40 plus. I reckon 60 plus.
Man.
It's not going to be good to watch, man. It's going to be, I would say, almost we should like put a mercy rule there because fuck me, that's gonna be
Yeah, absolutely.
like yeah, but well, we'll have a look. Like just
I
looking
think we've
after
covered, I
the
think we've covered that one.
yeah, yeah, fuck me, it's gonna be. What are the odds again? There's no odds on the.
$21 the dogs are paying, I think.
Oh fuck. Um,
I've never seen someone
I've literally never seen odds like
low.
that. But I remember I was shocked when I saw it was a couple of years ago. It was like $7 between the last and first, and I was like, oh my god, $7. That's massive odds. It's fucking
Yeah, but
21.
if you had a multi with the Broncos tied into the Bulldogs, wouldn't that pay?
Oh my god, you'd mate. That's yeah, but
Broncos
you'd
are
lose on the Bulldogs one because they're not going to win.
no, they're not at all.
Have
Not
you
unless
ever?
not unless one of their supporters starts terrorising the Panthers, if you know what I mean.
Oh Jesus Christ, mate! Come on, no, mate.
Gets out there, throws a few Gatorade bottles like that Good Friday clash. That's what I'm inferring.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, moving on. Let's go to the Rabbitohs v Eels game. It's at I was gonna say NZ Stadium Australia. Fuck, I think Eels win this. Not convincingly though. I think it's 1-12.
Yeah, just having a look at the teams. Cameron Murray obviously back in for the Bunnies. I think Burgess moves back to the bench. You know what? I'm going to go. The Bunnies have been treading water. Well, treading water is putting it politely when you get 50 and 56 put on you in consecutive weeks. But
Yeah,
I'm going to go the Bunnies 1-12 in this one. I think there's a lot to prove for them. So
yeah. Well,
maybe they can silence some of the critics with a win in this one.
Liam Knight and Jane Sewer both got dropped.
Yeah, Jaden Stewart got dropped. Interesting.
Yeah.
He's been talked about in Origin contention.
Not according to Wayne, mate. Yeah. Look, I'm not confident in that Eels 1-12 though. I got to say. Next game, Chookies v Raiders up at the Central Coast because can't have that many home games. That's fine. Just pay our membership to not get home games. No, I like the Central Coast Stadium is actually alright. I like going up there.
Up there?
Pardon?
Are you going to go up there?
When is it? Saturday night. I know I might make the drive, but it's fucking driving home after that. So maybe it's the 7:30. If it was maybe like the 3 o'clock or the 5:30, I would have. It's fucking 7:30 game. Fuck, probably I might just go to the pub or watch it at home. I don't even. I'm going to go us 13 plus, but I'm not confident in that.
Yeah, you guys, I don't know what NRL website's doing. You still got Angus Crichton named at start in second row.
I think that's the team we named because we thought he was going to get off for that nothing contact, but the NRL has just given us the big dick of the law.
I'm gonna go Roosters 1-12. I think you guys have sort of been treading water for a number of weeks, sort of getting the wins but not being convincing. I think it could sort of be another one of these games as well.
Yeah,
but who knows? The Raiders could honestly implode this week. I don't know what you're gonna get.
Yeah, it's either they're going to implode or they're going to put 50 on us. So I don't know which one it's going to be. Next game, Sharks Titans. Fuck, it's at Coffs Harbour. I'm going Titans 13 plus. I can't see the Sharks doing shit.
Yeah, having a look through the Sharks. They've got plenty of players, like plenty of decent players.
Yeah, it's
actually,
not like they have shit.
No, I'm going to go Sharks 1-12. Chad Townsend's been dropped.
Has he actually?
Yeah, he has.
Oh, that's
Matt
fucking hilarious.
Actually, Ronaldo Mulatalo back as well. Hirotti's dropped. So they're two worst players are out of the team. I'm going to go, Sharks.
Actually, I didn't say that. So they got Will Kennedy, Connor Tracy, Chambers, Ramian back. Yeah, I can see that. But I'm still going Titans. I have no confidence in the Sharks.
Well, I mean, no confidence in the Sharks. How about no confidence in the Newcastle Knights?
Oh, yeah, look at this. Yeah, Oh, so should we just do the score thing again? Let's 40 plus.
Yeah, I'm going to go 30 plus.
30 plus.
30
Yeah.
plus.
Just FYI, we're both going Seagulls. I don't think anyone in their right mind would pick the Knights.
Brain dead to pick the Knights.
Looks at typical comp, sees that Blake is probably picked the Knights. Probably Sam's picked the Knights as well. So it's funny, we've got a couple of mates who they live for the like shit calls. Like they're always going to tip the upset, and somehow because like they'll tip most games, but then the games like this they'll tip the upset. So they end up actually being in the top of the ladder of the tipping comp. Like even though they're shit at tipping, and it's so infuriating. But yeah, that's basically Blake. And then Sam, he just tips everything. He just tips every upset and loses them all, and it's fucking hilarious. But yeah,
Bradman Best's back for this one actually.
is he actually?
Yeah.
Nice. 25 plus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Nah, man,
can't say anything. All right, well, that wraps it up. Not a long one. Would apologise again for the pod coming out a bit late. We'll be back to normal next week, hopefully, with all three of us. Finally,
By Liam.
hopefully we actually have the boys have mics, so it's a bit more clear. Boys, get on it. Weekend.
Promise nothing, but we shall see.
But yeah, hope everyone enjoyed. Check us out on Instagram at the Slotcast. We're just a part of that banner, basically. You can check out my personal at JojoF1999. And if you want to look at pizza, no, that doesn't really relate to footy, but I've got a pizza Instagram via .garibaldi. Dom, do you want to plug your Insta?
No, not really. All my content's crap. Don't bother looking at it.
All right, well, I'll catch you all next Wednesday when hopefully we release one on time. Cheers, guys.